Hello, fabulous people. Today, I will talk to you about a topic in this episode with control. So, control is a really awkward kind of little emotion because control gives you the illusion that you are in control of something and that you have influence over an outcome. So, let's talk about what is control, where does it come from? On whether or not you're a control freak, on whether or not that's a good or a bad thing, and what you can do, to surrender. And instead of control, replace it with a different feeling. And I'm going to tell you exactly which one that is. So when I experience in our uncovery session with my private clients, as we're talking about getting into working together, a lot of times part of this uncovery session is where I really want to find out what they're doing, what's working, what's not working, where they want to go, and what the challenges are that they are experiencing. And inevitably, it comes to a lot of these things that are around them recognizing that they are paralyzed or not making certain decisions because they are not understanding the outcome. So let's say somebody wants to hire me as a strategist and I'm not, cheap. You can't hire me on an hourly rate. You hire me for a project. And so if they hire me, they know, or if we're talking, they know that they need somebody to help them with setting up a strategy, a growth strategy, a system formula, a sales strategy. And so they know they need that. But because they don't understand on how hiring me gets them a specific result. So can I say, if I hire Beate, that in 3 months, I'm going to have 10 more clients that bring me an extra $10,000. So I have made an extra $100,000. So my ROI of investment, compared to the investment, compared to my return is mapped out. There's no guarantee for that, right? Because I cannot have any control over what the client does. I can only give you the information and I can give you all the details and we can map it out together. But the actual work on how you show up every day in your business, that is entirely up on you. So I've had clients that came and they said, we are making the investment, we're surrendering control. We understand that we need to be doing something. And then they walked out and they negotiated a $100,000 deal within the next 24 hours. So their return on investment was insane. Is that typical? Does this happen all the time? Well, wouldn't you like me to promise that to you? Because then you'd all be hiring me like right on the spot, right? But the reason you're not doing that is because you're not sure of your own abilities. Because obviously something is possible, right? But the piece that you're not willing to step into is the surrendering control over what you think you need to have control over. And that is the certainty of the outcome. The certainty of the outcome is an illusion because the certainty of the outcome isn't something that someone's going to write on a piece of paper and gives it to you. The certainty of the outcome is something you write on a piece of paper and then you achieve. I'm going to say that one more time because I want you to be very, very, very clear about this. Is if you expect to go to someone to achieve results for you, right? Which is you surrendering control over what you can do. You give it to somebody else. You say, I'm giving you the control over guiding me in a particular path. When you give that control over, what you are letting go of is your idea of how this path needs to look like, because clearly yours is not working. Otherwise, you wouldn't be hiring someone or looking or being here or listening to this. So that's always why I say when people come to me, they're activated, because usually they have some sort of an understanding that what they're doing is not working. even though oftentimes they defend that decision and tell me that what they do is working, even though it clearly isn't, because really the only measure of success in this world is what's in your bank account and your lifestyle and what can you afford or can you not afford. So if you want to be in control, and the outcome of this control-based thinking of not doing anything that you don't know how to do or that is not within your parameter of abilities, but that gets you only to this point. So what you know right now, I want you to really think about this. What you know right at this very moment has gotten you to where you are today. If you are stuck in this circular motion or in this, wave sign of your business, then you haven't given up control to something or someone to achieve a different result, because you keep doing the same thing, you're getting the same result. I mean, that's math. 1 + 1 is 2. 1 + 1 is 2. 1 + 1 is 2 all the time. So unless you change something in this equation, you will get the same results. So now you have this awareness of, maybe I need to surrender control, but I don't want to surrender control because it's not safe. Who can you trust? How do I know if this person is speaking the truth? You don't. You don't. You have no control over anyone but yourself, but what you have control over. And this is the piece about control that you must understand. What you have control over is the vision of that you want to achieve. Because if you hold that vision clearly in the top of your head and you are purposely moving toward that, not necessarily just within what you know how to do today, but in the things that need to be done to get to that point, then you can achieve that. That's what you have control of. You have control over the decision to surrender to the desire that you have burning inside your heart, the passion that is driving you to get to that goal. When you are wanting to control the path to get there, you are screwing around with God's work, because the path on how it shows up is not up to you. And people that want to control the steps lose big time. You cannot worry about, if I set out to be a millionaire, if I set out to be a 7-figure business, if I set out to be a multi-million-dollar business that I want to set up for acquisition, that's the only thought you need to have. And then you need to allow the pieces, once you have this vision, because this is how universal energy, spirit, God works. It's here to deliver this for you. So when you give up control over the path and you focus on the end result, now the people can show up and the places can show up and the events can show up that are going to get you there. But if you're in control, you can see what that is. I have famously told you the example of my migraine, and I'm going to tell it to you one more time. I have horrible migraines. And I got about 8 days a week with the blowover days at 16 days a month, where half of my life I spend in either being on a migraine, taking migraine meds, coming off a migraine, or maneuvering on how to not get one. I have heard about magnesium for years. It doesn't work for me. I get sick. And then one day, as I am doing so much of this work, of this mindset work, the surrendering control, the allowing information to come in, they're really focusing on the end result, an email comes in and the message is about magnesium. But this time I read it, and I read it from head to toe. And it's a particular type of magnesium that doesn't go in the stomach, but works on the brain. I mean, my life is completely changed. I mean, I have, 3 months now. It's unheard of. I haven't felt like this in years and years and years and years. And then when I talked to my doctor, he says, I told you about this product a year ago. But a year ago, I wasn't ready to hear that because I had a judgment about something that I needed to be in control over. I didn't allow the possibility of the solution to come in because I was wanting to be in control over what I believed was my truth. And only when I gave up that control and I was actively, praying for miracles and looking for miracles and working on how to manifest miracles and quantum leaps, and I'm doing my mindset work every single day. There it is, ping, an email, life-changing. So my question to you today is, if you can replace this feeling of control with a feeling of surrender, and you'd really trust that which you want is out there for you, what would your path look like? And put this in the comments. I really want to hear this. How different would that be for you today? If you'd stop that angsty focus on the, I gotta, into, I'm part of this, and I am willing to receive that which I want, that I've asked for, without judging on how I'm going to get there. Because you do that, you're done and you're toast. The minute you start judging what shows up, the minute you start questioning on whether what shows up is the right thing, it's not going to work. Trust is trust in yourself and your own abilities and God, spirit, the universe, whatever you want to call it, the universal energy of life. So that's my message to you for today. Surrender, let control go, and see what happens. Thank you so much for watching. This is Beate Schillett, the Growth Architect.